All right, so I got the C10 out of storage, and I wanted to cover something very, very important that a lot of people miss, which is this little bit of paper right here. This is called the stop document that comes already in the kit. So we put these in each one of the kits, but I want to kind of go through it real quick and explain how handy and, well, how important it is as well. So we got a fresh kit, we got the stop document, we have a C10 out of storage covered in bees and spiders and things. They're doing some awesome testing over there today, I see. But anyways, on this, it just starts off, you got QR codes that's going to take you to the manuals and to the tuning software as well. And one of the most important things, or one of the more important things really, is the fact that it tells you where to put the O2 sensor at. Now, actually, let's walk over to the test stand real quick. I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about because it's hard to see on the C10. All right, so here's on a test stand right here. This is our small block. We're in kind of a transitionary phase of going from one system to the next because we actually test on live engines. We have the LS stuff, we got the small block stuff. I love this. Anyways, you can see right here on the O2 sensor where I placed it at. If you look at the document, it's about 10 degrees off of horizontal. It's, you know, that way any kind of particulates, fuel, anything really kind of just drains out the end of it so it doesn't foul up the element inside. You can see I got it placed about right here. Now, this is a relatively short pipe, but this offers a little bit of protection against environments. So like exhaust reversion or whatever have you not. But you can see right here at the collector, even though we have it welded, it's not bolted on there because we never take these things off, but it's about 8 inches or so from where the merge point of the collector is right here. Now we got our EGT probe in here. That's a whole different story. But yeah, so this is a really good location about this far to right here. So if you're trying to put one in, you can put it in like this, you can put it in like this, but you can't get them to where they point up. Otherwise it will foul it up. So that way you're going to be in a good location, and we sent you a little reminder on it as well. So let's go back to the Chevy. All right, so back to the Chevy as we are. You know, we got a small block in here. I think this thing's like a 355 thereabouts. Valve covers are backwards. People, for some reason, that's weird for them, but I like it. I think it's kind of different. This thing is in much need of repair and update because we tested so many things on it. I haven't even hooked up the throttle linkage or none of that stuff. But the next portion of this book right here, the stop document, we get to the wiring, and it explains how important it is to go directly to the battery when it comes to wiring the PDM or wiring the system itself. So it's just a system with the relays and fuses and a harness. You need to take those power wires and put them right on the battery. That helps protect the system against transient voltages and other very odd things like that that can damage the system over time. Now, if it comes to wiring of the PDM will wire directly to the battery as well for the same reasons of protecting the system. So it also, if you look in here, it gives a little diagram about the ignition switch, right? So you see it comes straight from a good, clean power source off the battery because it uses the battery as a capacitance, basically, to help filter out any kind of bad or transient voltage or whether flyback voltages or whatnot. So don't hook it to your starter, don't hook it to your alternator. It's very bad for it. But if you don't have a good, clean ignition source as well, you can just put it on a relay and pull that good, clean power from the battery and have it triggered appropriately through a dirty source if you like. But we carry on through it. It gets into the distributor. This is just the meat and potatoes of some things you need to consider when you're installing this. Even in here, we got a little bit of an exploded diagram of it, and it explains how you need to lock it out and some of the basic parameters whenever you're actually putting the system in. When you're actually putting the distributor in and getting it oriented appropriately, we did put some steps in here with a little bit of instructions on how to get it done. So with this as well, we get into the next portion of it. After the distributor's good, you've locked it out, you've done a thing. We did make some videos about locking things out, and there's other people's videos out there as well that's very, very helpful, and sometimes they explain things that we just didn't really touch on. But we get into the fan wiring. Now we did, because this is not normal for a lot of people, this is a ground triggered diagram. So if there's a ground signal coming from the ECU, this right here is where you're going to hook up your fan 1 or fan 2. You can see the powers are tied together, and this actually triggers it so you can turn on a heavier load or the fan itself without damaging the ECU. We viewed it important to actually put that in there. So with this as well, this system, you know, we got a return style or bypass return style as it is. And we see we put both diagrams in here. We have, for the fuel system on the back page, we put your standard issue. This is a return style, goes through the throttle body or fuel rails, and it has the regulator on the trailing end of it before it gets back to the fuel tank. And then we have the other one. This is a little bit more complicated, but it's not, I mean, you really stare at it, it's not really that bad, but it's when you're using like our in-tank units. So it comes out, does the whole thing, all the whole circuit and all that, and then you get back to the fuel pressure regulator. You can plumb these for bypass return or return on the ACES regulators. But this is the most common situations, and we put it on the pamphlet for you, the people. That way it just gives a really clean explanation, or at least a little bit of a reminder of, check into these things first and make sure you're just following those good install practices to get the best success out of your system as soon as you hit the key. So really hope that helps.